Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I want to go over a quick review of these Mondo Llama brand dual tip alcohol markers I got at Target. This seems to be another like stationery brand that they have come up with. I think they did the UB one for a while. Just silly lettering and gimmicky stuff. But I was surprised to see a set of alcohol markers in Target. So they were $25 on the shelf before tax. And it comes with 40, including black. I have gone through these already and I swatched them. I will show you that. We will be coloring with them as well. They did not have numbers on them. They have nothing to designate, and the lids are not super indicative of the color. So especially in these like range here, it's not the clearest thing. And so I numbered them. I kind of put them in like a rainbow order that satisfied me, and then I put numbers on them. What I do is I take like an address sheet. I have a bunch of extra space on these address labels I got from Etsy from someone, and they used just one of those Avery printouts, and there's a lot of extra space, like white space, and you can, I will show you, use like a hole punch. I can't really open it, but it's a normal sized hole punch, like binder paper hole punch, and just punch a bunch of them out and then peel them. If you have fingernails at the moment, you can peel them, the little tiny circles open, get the sticky side, put it down, and write the number on them, and that is what I've done. I once had a crafty afternoon session with my crafty friend, and I did that through all my all my chow markers because I was tired of not seeing what number they were. The sketch have them on there on the lids, but the chow do not. So I did the same thing for those. So now they have numbers. So these do not come with any identification on them. So you'd have to make your own system. I'm just going to leave them in this case. It has, if you look in, I'll remove a couple. It's got like, maybe it's kind of hard to see. It's got like a plastic, just a plastic thing of squares, and it has a bottom, and they sit in each square. So it holds them pretty uniform. And so these are the colors from in the rainbow order. I put them in ending in black. So I want to talk about these a little bit before I show you some combinations I came up with. If you play with Copics enough, you kind of understand that there are like, cool grays, warm grays, things like that. So this, to me, this here, like 29, for example, is a super dark warm gray. This one is a dark cool gray, and then like this is the lighter of the cool gray. So 30, 31 go pretty good together. 32 and 33 I would consider a light warm gray. They are pretty darn close. This almost has more of a purple tone to it, but it's still gray. But these are kind of very close in color. The only thing I do not like about the cheaper alcohol marker sets is that they tend to have at least one, if not more than one, color where there's two of basically the same, like they're identical. So here, like 35 and 39, you're not going to see that much difference in the swatch. And these blues here, I suppose they're different enough, but again, still pretty close. So that's kind of annoying. And then like two of the oranges, 4 and 5, the numbers I've designated as 4 and 5. 4 is maybe a teeny bit lighter, but barely. Like those are pretty much the same. So they're not terrible, and I don't believe any of them were really dry. I may have run something a little quicker. Again, I don't use the broad side. I'll show you the tips. I'm mostly coloring small images, so I'm using this fine tip side, which is like a nib, which is similar to the tri-blends that I use. It's going to be a nib tip like that versus the Copic brush, which I prefer, the brush tip. And then like the Ohuhu brush tips, which are really good. I really like those as well. And the brush tip, again, is just a lot easier to use. So these are them. I'm going to go over, we're going to look at the marker, and then I'm going to show you some color combos I did in my rainbow stamp. So this is number 1. It's one of the red ones. It does clearly label broad and fine. And then the gray band, which is normal, I believe, in Copics. Let me grab. It's the same in Sketch or Chow, and those are really what I have. That gray band is apparent on the fine tip, so that you know which end is, not the fine, sorry, the brush tip in this case. So you know which end is the fine, or the brush tip. So here you've got an orange band on the fine, but it also says fine, so you're not questioning that at all. And then the brand, but again, nothing else. No number or anything like that. And I'm going to keep the ink down to the tip that I'm going to be using more often. So I put the number on the broad end because I'm going to have them in the case like I just showed you over here, like this with that pointed down. So I'm always going to know the numbers on the end that needs to be on the top. Did not even show them to you. There's the broad, basically like a highlighter. Same for Copics. And then the nib, which usually tends to look the same in cheaper alcohol markers. So there's that. I'm going to show you some I already did, and then we're going to color some images along with me. You're going to color along. So here I did, I'll explain these, but basically I just kind of filled in some rainbow parts here. This red here, and I don't know if it, translates as well to camera as I'm looking at it in person, but I did 2 and then 1. I'm going to keep this in the background here. I did for the red, a 2 blend and then a 1. These cheaper alcohol marker sets that are kind of a smaller number are going to be good for two color combos, not great for 3 color combos. Not only because there aren't so many markers, but like this third purple doesn't really work well with these other 2, for example, and the blues. Maybe, these 3 I did do, but that's going to be an exception. And so you're going to have a lot of good, maybe 2 color combos here. So small images are better. You've got 2 and 1. I did 6 and 4, which is a darker orange and a lighter orange for that one. For the green, I did 14 and 16, which is going to be this green and then that one. So that one, all you have to do is just spend a little more time blending at the edges there, and it actually doesn't look that bad. And then this one, I did 18, 19, and 20 for the blues. So I actually did this to this to this. I probably could have gone from this right to this, and you don't have to use that middle one. For here, over here, I did 20 and 21, which is this blue and the lighter blue. That was a good combo. I wanted to get this lighter green in here, so I did 14 to 15, which is the green I used over here on the dark end, and then I used the lighter, which also worked. I think I like this green better. I did what I would call a cool gray, so 30, 31 in this first outer rainbow line. And then I tried the 29 and 32, which would be that warm gray. The 32 is going to be a lot lighter, but again, you can just spend a little more time blending that out to make it work. Now these are the 2 purples. So the outer ring here is the 22, 23, 24, that 3 purple combo that doesn't really work. This is kind of like a dusty purple. It's going to be similar to, I think, the dusty purple blend in the tri-blends. So I'm looking at my chart in front of me, and it's a lot closer to this kind of purple, that lightest. It doesn't really go. So then on the second one, I did just 22 and 23 without that third one, and that was a good 2 color combo. These ones are going to be kind of a mix up here, but we've got 26 and 8, which I thought was a really good kind of like peachy pink combo. That's that outer rainbow. It definitely goes from pink to more of a peach, but I do like that. It'll probably be really good for flowers. Then I did 37, and I reached across over here to 9. And that second bar, a pretty good blend for 2 colors. Maybe a critter color if you needed one. A couple of these will work for critters. The gray in the middle is going to be 33. So the 33 of the two that kind of looks similar to me. 33 and then 28, which kind of honestly looks like a really light, what Spectrum would probably call a green gray, which they had in their originals but did not translate into the tri-blends. So there's actually no green gray in the tri-blends. I covered a tri-blends video, and I actually covered all the ones that they decided not to turn into tri-blends. And so those are some videos ago when I did the whole tri-blend review. So it's kind of a green gray, but it kind of worked. You can see the tone change. The blend works great, but you can kind of see that it's a green gray. I'm not sure how it's coming across on camera. And then for this kind of peachy one, I was looking for some skin tones. So we've got a couple at the end here and a couple in here as well. 10 to 12 was kind of like a fair skin. So 10 here to 12, very light, makes that second to last blend there. And then the smallest arc is 38 and then 8, which also worked pretty well for a little bit darker skin tone. And then over here, now this is where the two browns that are a little too similar really made no difference. This looks like 2 colors to me. So I've got 34, 35, and 39. 34 is this dark brown here. 35 and 39 basically look the same to me. So this outer ring here is a blend of 3, but again, the 2 are just way too similar. So it might as well be a blend of 2. I wanted to try just something a little bit different that I knew would kind of blend well, like blending wise, but the color is going to look pretty different, and it might look cool on some of the things we're about to color. So I want to try that one. This one I did second, so that's that inner one. We'll talk about that one. This blue-green one here is 17 and 21. So more of a teal, which is probably my favorite marker. It just doesn't go with anything. And then 21, which is like a sky blue. So you get this kind of green to blue, but it works. It's very strange. And then the 2712 is this other kind of fair looking skin tone. Maybe a different, not as peachy. I'm not sure what you would call that. 27 is here. And then 12 is that lighter, much lighter color. So that's what makes that one here. And then the pink is going to be that super bright pink, which is the only pink other than this here, which is more of a peachy pink. So it's basically hot pink, and then 26. So I actually combined those two, and it doesn't turn out that bad. That would probably also be good for flowers or something like that. So that's all I ended up testing out. So I'm going to keep this in front of me, and this as well. That'll be my chart. And I want to show you, and we'll color in some of these like popsicles. Those would be good for popsicles, things like that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. This set is Summer Borders from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm very excited. I know I zoomed out. Now I want to show you this set here from Pretty Pink Posh. Super cute. Had to have that one. From the release, I picked up Summer Borders and Summer Drinks, or Summer Drinks. So I'm excited to color those. But I knew that some of these like popsicles and things like that would work really well. So especially this blue, the 17 and the 21, which I'm very happy I numbered these because that's going to make that a lot easier. I think is going to be a really good popsicle combo. So I'm going to color in the bottom half of that and then blend that into the upper half. But now I'm not sure what to put in the middle there. I'll think about that for a second. And then for the popsicle sticks, these are so tiny. I'm just going to grab one of these lighter browns and just fill those in. It would be honestly kind of silly to blend two colors. You're welcome to, if you want to spend the time and you have the eyesight to do so. But blending two colors in such a small area, usually not going to notice. So we'll just fill these in. Whoop. And then one of those skin tones in the sample I showed you is going to be really good for like the cone, this waffle cone color. And I'm thinking either this band here or this second one. I think I want to do this one here. So the 10-12. So I'm going to take the 10 and go under on each of these where like the shading would be. And based on that color, like it's not yellow. So these lids are clearly not very helpful. 10-12, also very yellow as a lid color, but not what comes out. I stamped these a couple times and I let them dry for quite a while. I've been getting some smearing on my ink and I don't want that. I think some of these ice creams, for one of these we can do the chocolate combo, which again, this 34, 35, 39, 3 of them is pointless. I'm just going to do 34 and then probably just 35. I'm just going to pick 2. So we'll go, whoops, highlighter end. I'm going to go and fill in kind of the bottom here on one of those. What did I say? 30, 34, and then 35 is going to be a little bit lighter. So I think if you are, I always hesitate, if someone wants to get into alcohol markers and you know you're going to love it and color with them all the time, which is what we all say, and then I don't use my Copics, then I would just say get Copics if you can afford it. Otherwise, if you just want to play with alcohol markers, or if you want to have an alcohol marker set and you just color every now and then for fun, I think these would be a great set to have. And they're available in person at Target and you can just go get them. There are plenty of good ones on Amazon. I've covered, that's just one red. I've covered a few on YouTube. There's the keyboard set, which is very good, but the Ohuhu brush set is very good as well. So yeah, you can choose for yourself. I think that weird pink combo, I want to make like a sorbet. So we're going to do 25, 25, and 26. So I'm going to take this other ice cream here. This will be our sorbet color. And then 26 is going to be the lighter pink. And if I've stamped several times, like I said, just keep blending. You can always just keep going over. Sometimes it'll get mottled, but it'll look better than a harsh line. If you've stamped something 2 or 3 times, like in a Misty, and if you don't have time to let it fully dry, you can use a heat gun to dry it. Just give it more time to dry so your markers aren't smearing the ink. I always just, and this is just annoying because I don't want to have to do this, but it's always just better just to try and stay within the lines. Just try not to color over the black lines. Like if your animals or your critters have eyes, or let's say, for example, what I'm talking about is essentially like this watermelon has seeds in it. If you color over the seeds a lot, they're just going to bleed. That's just what's going to happen if you don't give it enough time to dry. So if you can like go around them and still get it colored in, that's going to help you a lot. For this one over here, let's see. Purple doesn't really make sense. Ooh, let's do the peachy pink. So it's 26, which is the lighter color we used on this one. But that's going to be our bottom darker color. I'm not being very inventive with my shading. I apologize. 26 and then 28, which is kind of that peachy. So you get this peachy pink. That would be a really yummy sorbet. And I'm just going to assume that these are all cherries on top. And then they get a cherry. So then another one would be a good orange. So again, the 6 is going to be the darker orange. Let's do... And so in this case, if you didn't want to color over those lines, just color down the middle and on either side. And you can still fill it in without actually coloring over the black lines. So if you have a problem with smearing, because no one has invented the perfect black ink pad yet for some reason, then you can at least try to avoid it. And then just make sure. Telling you coloring within the lines, obviously that's not what I mean. I mean just not touching the black lines. You can go around them and up against them without smearing them. You can still do your blending around them. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so let's do, I want to try this blue combo, the 20 and the 21. We will do a blue popsicle. Hopefully this is close up enough for you. Again, go along the bottom of those lines, go in the middle and up the sides. And you still haven't touched those black lines in the middle. 20, 21, go down the middle, down the sides. I really like this combo. I know these blues don't really totally go together, but middle, side, and then you haven't smeared the middle. So this one is great for popsicles. I'm not quite sure what that would be, like a chocolate coating on a popsicle. To me, it looks like dipped ice cream or something, but let's do a rocket pop. I'm not even sure what order those are in. So the reds, 2 to 1, doesn't look, I'm going to split these up in halves. Since these are going to be good 2-color combos, getting a blend of 2 colors in a small area is much easier than 3 anyway. So if you're coloring tiny images, this would work very well. So I think it's red, white, blue, because that makes sense, right? Red, white, and blue. So the darkest blue we've got is the 18. So I'm going to go from, so if you see on here, I did on one of my rainbows, I did 18, 19, 20. I'm just going to skip 19 and go right to 20. So we're going to do 18 and 20, the lighter blue, and then just blend those out. See, it's fine. That's a blend. And that looks exactly like a rocket pop. So those are so fun. So I think I'll probably end up putting this on a card. So just wanted to give you kind of an example of how you could use them. Again, 2-color combos are going to be pretty easy to find in cheap alcohol marker sets. And if you're coloring a lot of small images, that's really all you need. You don't need a 3-color blend. And you can always go over it again, this 10, 12. Just go over it again, make your shading darker, and then it'll be more apparent. And if you want to add the 12 again, you can do that too. So that's a little bit better. So those are the markers. If I can find them on the Target website, I will link them down below. Otherwise, if you have a Target, you can go find them. This is what they look like. You'll have to do your own number stickers. But cute little carrying case with a handle. and that's what they look like in the packaging. And yeah, so hopefully that was helpful and give you another option for some cheap alcohol markers. Some of us are actually looking for cheap markers because we can't afford Copics, and some of us just can't stop buying markers. So there's that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.